back when we were wrestling in World Class, which was a nationwide television, Tommy and I and Bruiser Brody and Abdullah the Butcher, well, we would get booked out all over the country for all these outlaw groups, which was now beginning to be independents. And every one of them had television, and they thought they were going to be the next big thing, the next big wrestling company. So we were at one in New Jersey, and every one of them, you'd get there 11 in the morning, and we never heard of that because we always got the wrestling shows an hour before. It wasn't any getting into these shows early, but we get there at 11 or 12, and then we'd be there all night doing 3 and 4 TV tapings for these promoters. And what it would be Brody and Abdullah on top. We would be right underneath them as the Fantastics, and we would wrestle a local tag team. Well, on this night, we were ready to get out of there, and Bruiser Brody was too. And we couldn't find Tommy anywhere, and we were in the van to go back to the hotel. And all of a sudden, about 35 minutes later, Tommy shows up. And Brody says to Tommy, "I want to ask you something right now. Are you in it for the women, or are you in it for the money?" And Tommy says, jokingly, "I guess I'm in it for the women." Brody was in the captain's chair of the van. Me and Wendy Richter was sitting in the back seat, so Tommy would have been in the middle, long seat. He spun around, he grabbed Tommy by the hair and started pounding his head into the window of the van. And I was sitting behind him, so I slid in my hand to keep Tommy's head from smashing the window or possibly breaking it out. And all of a sudden, Frank got done pounding his head on it. He never punched him or nothing. But he said, "Now I'm going to do something I would never normally do." Here, he broke open a beer and handed Tommy a beer, and he said, "I'm going to turn my back on you." And we drove off, and it was dead silence. I mean, it was something else. I mean, nobody said nothing after that. And I never really spoke about it much. I mentioned it a couple of times, and that's what happened there with that. I knew Bruiser Brody enough to know that if I was killed in Puerto Rico, Bruiser Brody would still work there. And I believe that, Hannibal, and I knew Bruiser Brody really well, going back to an incident in San Antonio where I found out by reading a book by Larry Matizak that he quit Joe Blanchard because Frank was mad because I made the same amount of money he made on a show. So I told Tommy, "I'm going back to Puerto Rico," and we started doing what Dick Murdoch was booking. But the eerie thing of it was, when I first went back to Puerto Rico after Frank had been killed, and I love Bruiser Brody. I loved him. And when we landed in Puerto Rico, me and my brother, the strangest thing was when we got to the hotel phone rang. And I answered the phone, and all of a sudden it was this phone call. "Amigo." I said, "Yes." He said, "This is Jose Gonzalez." And I started shaking, and the phone was shaking, Hannibal. "How was your trip, my friend?" Because I knew Jose, and I'd never had a problem with him. Never. But here he was, this guy who'd killed my friend Bruiser Brody. Calling me on the phone, I said, "Jose, our trip was fine, thank you so much." So I got off the phone with him. I told my brother, I said, "That was real disturbing, but nevertheless, we're here and we're going to work." So we were wrestling and flying in and out of Puerto Rico on the weekends again. So finally it came to one weekend, and it was bad business. Business was bad. Carlos said, "Ride with me to the town today." And I said, "Carlos, your business is bad. The 1-2 things that you have here is you and Jose that's never really wrestled each other." And as we went to the town, I laid out a program for him and Jose to do. So as I said, the people believe in you and they believe in Jose. And I said, if you guys work this angle, You'll draw money again, including Ronnie Jordan, who was coming in at that point, because I had Ivan Choloff coming in as well prior to that. And he said, all right. Well, the bad thing of it was, the last night, the Sunday night, they were supposed to pick us up. They didn't pick us up at the hotel. The Hills had told us to get in the car, and I said, no, I'm not riding with the Hills. Somebody will pick us up. No one picked us up. We never got paid for that weekend, and what was strange was, on the way to the town, and you could ask my brother George, actually Fulton, Carlos said, if I do this annual, Bobby, I'm bringing you in for a big payoff. I said, fine. But we didn't get paid for that weekend. Months later, I asked Ronnie Yorvin how was business in Puerto Rico. He said, it's doing great. I said, what happened? He said, they shot this angle. Boom, boom, boom. I thought, yeah, that's the one I gave them. But nevertheless, I never got paid.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.